How do you pay zakat on your investments? Imagine your wealth as a garden. Some parts grow quickly, some slowly, and some stay still. Paying zakat on investments is like tending to this garden carefully. It depends on what kind of investment you have, how liquid it is, and why you bought it. First, you need to find out the value of your investments that are zakatable. For example, if you own equity funds or mutual funds, a good rule is to consider about 25 to 30% of their total value as zakatable. Then, you pay 2.5% of that amount. So, if your investment is for $1,000, you take 25%, which is $1,000, and pay $25 as zakat. For stocks and shares, if they are actively traded and meant for sale or profit, zakat is due on their full market value at the time you calculate zakat. If you hold stocks for long-term growth or dividends, you can use a similar approach, considering 25 to 30% of their value before applying 2.5%. Bonds or sukuk are a bit different. Zakat is usually calculated on the face value or the part expected to be repaid. If you earn interest from conventional bonds, that interest is not permissible in Islam and should be given away as charity, not counted as zakatable wealth. For other assets like gold, cash, or cryptocurrencies, zakat is generally due on their full market value if you have held them for a lunar year and their value exceeds the unknown threshold. Speaking of which, the unknown is the minimum amount of wealth you need to hold for one lunar year to be liable for zakat. The intention behind your investment also matters. If you bought assets to trade and sell quickly, zakat is due on the full market value. If you hold investments for long-term growth or passive income, you can estimate the zakatable part, usually 25 to 30%, to reflected the portion that is liquid or productive. At the end of each lunar year, you check your total zakatable wealth, including investments, cash, and other assets. If it reaches the unknown and has been held for a year, then zakat is due. Many Muslims choose to do this calculation during Ramadan to keep it simple. Remember, you can subtract any debts or liabilities that are due before calculating zakat. The standard rate is 2.5% of your zakatable wealth after these adjustments. To make sure your calculations are correct, it helps to use a zakat calculator or talk to a qualified Islamic finance scholar. Keep records of your investment's market values on your chosen zakat date. If the company whose shares you own has already paid zakat on those shares, you might not need to pay again to avoid double counting. In summary, paying zakat on investments involves understanding what kind of assets you own, estimating the zakatable portion, making sure your wealth exceeds the unknown, and then paying 2.5% after a lunar year. This process helps purify your wealth and supports social welfare in line with Islamic principles.